Welcome aboard to Gourmet-On-The-Go with Layover Creations. I'm Jennifer, a seasoned flight attendant with a passion for healthy eating and travel. This channel is your ultimate guide to nutritious plant-based meals designed specifically for those constantly on the move. Flight crews, business travelers, and adventurers alike. Let's dive in and elevate your on-the-go meals to gourmet status. In today's episode, we're making a versatile and delicious hummus with a twist. Our featured hummus today includes pan-roasted bell peppers, adding a smoky and vibrant flavor. I'm using chickpeas from 2 cans that I thoroughly rinsed and then drain and dry. Here I'm using paper towel, but I do prefer using a cotton kitchen towel. I rub the chickpeas in the towel to break the skins from the chickpeas, which will ultimately create a smoother texture. Separation does take a little time. Skip this step if you'd like. As you follow me, you'll find that I begin most of my dishes by first caramelizing onions. In fact, there are times when I may not be sure of what I'm going to cook, but I will just melt my oat butter and add a little oil to keep it from browning while I slice or chop an onion for inspiration. And since I live in the South, most of my dishes do include bell peppers and celery. Today, I did intend this dish to begin with caramelized onions. These are Vidalia sweet onions, but you can also use yellow or red ones. I chop and saute them in a mix of a tablespoon each of oat butter and grapeseed oil. Olive and avocado oils are also great with hummus. After the onions became translucent, I add the chickpeas that I prepared earlier. My goal is to achieve a golden color. I'm always on the lookout for dishes that are fulfilling, affordable, and packed with nutrition, and this hummus fits the bill perfectly. Chickpeas are full of protein and are beneficial in boosting health in so many ways. Stick around until the end and I'll show you a quick variation featuring garlic and spinach. I'm sprinkling in about 1.5 tablespoons of a spice seasoning mix that I put together and use often. The spice mix is in the description and includes store-bought garlic powder, cumin, fresh ground black pepper, smoked paprika, onion powder, garam masala, and sumac. But do play around with your spices to see what you prefer. Because I'm frequently on the go and sometimes don't have access to my own kitchen, I have found many great spice options from pantries of family and friends or on grocery store shelves. Adding spices now allows the seasoning to penetrate the chickpeas before boiling in water. I usually work 4-day trips, so I split my hummus into 4 bowls. 1 will go into the refrigerator and 3 in the freezer. I'll eat the refrigerated one on the first day. The others I pack in ice packs and pray that my hotel refrigerator has a freezer compartment so I can put 2 in the freezer when I get there and 1 in the refrigerator for day 2. Here you see that I added a little water and then I'll add a little more. It's not because I like the applause my food gives me for that moment. It's actually because I want to deglaze my pan before adding more water. I don't want my chickpeas swimming in the water, so I add just enough to cover the chickpeas. I bring it to a boil and then simmer for at least 30 minutes while I prepare other components of my meal prep for my upcoming trip. Now, that being said, I sometimes exceed 30 minutes because I get busy, but do boil for at least half an hour and then turn off the heat and let them cool. Test your chickpeas for softness or smashability. The softer they are, the easier it will be to achieve a smoother hummus. Now it's time for the food processor to get to work, so I add my lemon juice and tahini to the food processor. This is 1 full lemon and about 3 tablespoons of tahini for 2 15-ounce cans of chickpeas. I just realized that I was about to get ahead of myself. I meant to blend my lemon juice, tahini, and ginger before adding my chickpeas. and I was still about to mess up. This usually happens when I'm rushing to get ready for a trip. I accidentally added the ginger to the chickpea pot instead of the food processor. Okay, I'm back on track. I blended the lemon juice, tahini, and ginger. And now I add my roasted baby bell peppers. I like the flavor through and through, but if you prefer, you can do like the stores do and just add yours to the top. This is your hummus after all. I blended mine in the food processor, and if I was having company, I would probably have reserved some of it for the top as garnish to alert my guests to the flavor of this one. We're finally to the step the chickpeas have been waiting for. They're joining the party now. It usually takes me about 4 cycles of the food processor in the blending mode for me to be satisfied, but I do check its consistency after each cycle, not because it's an excuse for me to get a sampling, really, but I need to know how much oil and water to add, and it really depends on how much water was left after the boiling process. Today, time got away from me, so I had way less liquid left in my chickpeas than usual when I finished. As a tip though, the liquid from the pot doesn't have to be added all at once when you add your chickpeas to the food processor. You can reserve the seasoned water from the pot to use during this food processing step. Today I needed to add additional filtered water after I blended in a 1/4 cup of grapeseed oil to achieve my desired goal. This is a Ninja food processor with a place where I can add my filter water as I blend. I got to try the hummus each time for consistency and taste. This is a great time to determine if you want to add more seasoning to your hummus to reach the desired taste. There have been many times in the past when I realized I did add too much salt, and in most of those cases I just add a little more lemon juice and either more chickpeas or other canned peas that I've rinsed. And I say this because not is all lost if you get the spices wrong. Other variations I have tried include roasted garlic and rosemary, caramelized onion and thyme, carrots and coriander. What variations would you like to see me make, or what have you tried and liked? I'd love to hear them. I do like variety on my trips, and making my own food makes sense, not only for my health but also for my pocketbook. Per diem does not cover the cost of eating out for 4 days, and sometimes eating out isn't even as an option because our long hours or unforeseen circumstances cause us to miss buying food. But once you do get to your desired consistency, you're almost ready to eat or use. While the food processor was doing its thing, I prepared celery, carrots, and bell peppers to carry with me on my trip, and I placed each in separate containers. Microgreens are used here as garnishment, but other suggestions would be basil, cilantro, roasted garlic and thyme, parsley, caramelized onions, pesto and basil, or even the roasted bell peppers. My husband wouldn't let me make it and not have some for him, so I did prepare a small plate for us too and included additional sides of blue corn tortilla chips and naan bread. Another variation I use on my trips is spinach and arugula with the roasted garlic powder. I use it in wraps and on sandwiches that I can make with mini naan. Adding fresh spinach, celery, carrot sticks, and canned fish in the hotel room is fulfilling and full of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Now, if you do choose to use fish, do us all a favor. Add it when you're alone. I also don't want the smell of fish hours later in my hotel, so I do rinse the can before throwing the packaging away. Now do me a huge favor, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with my latest recipes and tips. I know there are a lot of meal prep channels you can choose from. Thank you for watching mine. Safe flying, and see you in the next video.